well publicised that Cricket Ireland are very keen on that idea. And whilst many around the cricketing world, even still incorrectly to this day, name Ireland as an associate, they are a full member of the ICC. So there are two full members as very close neighbours within the European region. And it seems to be Cricket Ireland pushing it rather than England pushing it, albeit that Cricket Ireland, because of a lack of facilities here, would love if England could host it. But I agree with what you said there. I think whilst it would be great to see it without England in it, it can only work with England in it, like we see in the Asia Cup.
And I do think it would be commercially viable. I really do. I think it's one of the few ways of making it so. You know, you look at Rugby Six Nations and you know, the growth of Italy within that, and Italy haven't been hugely competitive in many of the years. But they also they've got a decent couple of stadia, obviously, but they do have crowds that come in and watch it, and it's part of the calendar. And once these things become part of the calendar and they happen year on year at the same time, people can book them in. And
fans, you mean?
Fans,
yeah.
Yes, and fans can know it's happening. They will come and watch, and it would be compelling. I think if England took part in it, and everyone knew that England were going to play Scotland, Ireland, Holland, Italy potentially, and maybe one other every year at a certain time of year, it would then become something, you know. And I think it's a really, really good idea, and I think it needs to happen. I really do think it needs to happen, and I think England are the ones who are going to make it happen, and possibly initially might do a bit of the funding, and I know that might be asking a bit, but I think there's actually quite a lot in for them further down the road.
This strikes Tector on the back pad, but is height an issue? He's a very tall man, remember, Harry Tector, and that one feels to me as though it's bounced. Potential of where it struck in terms of line too. I think Gazanfer was convinced this was going to be given. Rowley Black had a long think about it. Given, not out. Let's get another look.
I think Harry Tector might be a wee bit lucky there. I think the thing's going in his favour, the fact that he is a very tall man, and it hit him on the knee row, but he was right back on his stumps. The other thing slightly going in his favour, and I'm not saying this is the reason it wasn't out, is because he might have looked to Rowley Black, well, like his right pad was slightly outside the line, and that sort of slight benefit of doubt that does go to the batter. He's definitely got one there, Harry Tector. The way he looked up straight away was a bit of a giveaway that he was worried about it as well. So Ireland will take it.
You can often judge an awful lot by the genuine nature and enthusiasm within an appeal. I am certain that Gazanfer genuinely thought that was stitched plumb out, and the replay it made it look very, very close indeed. Here's Rashid Khan, a big cheer for the maestro himself. Ireland do have the benefit of having Balbirnie there, who does play Rashid Khan quite well. He starts with a single. It's going to be another challenge for Harry Tector, though, who's already been out to Rashid Khan twice in the series.
10 overs of cuts, that's what we want. That first ball, 60 of those would be beautifully. Not for 60 off 10. We'll take that.
I think he might have started with the leg break there that Tector spoken about. Is the public reception to that was overwhelmingly positive right the way across social media and just in general conversation. And then I do agree that England has a huge role to play in the ECB, but the biggest thing you're probably asking them is that for the first, maybe 5 to 10 years is to host it. And the reason as to why that would aid the success, they have the infrastructure, and particularly if you play it in London, at one of those two iconic venues in Lords of the Oval, whatever cricket is held there is well attended. And then you've got the diasporas of Irish and Scottish and Dutch fans that are living and working. I think it would be a great precursor to the season. Play it in May, get it in the calendar, and even if every single England player isn't available, even if some are at the IPL, I don't think that matters. And one thing is for certain, judging from all of the results between those sides against England over the years, it'd be pretty competitive too. I completely agree with you, Lenny. I couldn't agree with you more. I think it would be a brilliant fixture to the calendar, addition to the calendar, and I think it could be played quite quickly as well. It doesn't have to be a sort of weekend. That's the key.
It could be over a week, and initially, and if it works, who knows, further down the line that could change. But yeah, I hope we see it at some point.
Maybe Ed Joyce, you could become the ambassador of the event and find a way to make it happen. We'll have a break or a change in commentary even here now for the moment. 20 have been bowled. I would love to keep talking about the Euro Nations Cup. We'll do that come Saturday. Ed will bring that topic up again, or the potential of it. It's 95 for 2.
Overs done. Thank you, Andrew Leonard. 95 for 2 after 20. A relatively sedate run rate for Ireland in terms of how they've gone about chasing the target of 344. Joyce, a required run rate of approaching 8.5 and over, which to maintain for 30 overs against some of the world's best bowlers is certainly no easy prospect.
A tall ask, I call that, Dwayne.
It's Wood Elkin tall.
But these two have done a good job. The last there's just a shy at the stumps there from Rashid Khan, which will lead to a couple of runs, a couple of overthrows. We always have a couple of buzzers.
Well, the fielding is applauded, but Rashid Khan, yeah, effectively gifting Ireland 2 runs.
And Ireland will take them. Yeah, these two have done a good job over the last 5 overs. Andrew Leonard asked me what the plan would be. I think after 13 overs, and I suggested the idea would be to try and get as close to 100 after 20. They've done a really good job of that, going at nearly 6 and over for that 7 over period. And then small targets from now on in for 20 to 25 again, another 6, 7 and over.
Balbirnie squeezing this one away, and again the fielding is applauded. This time it's Ishmatullah Shahidi diving to collect that one and deny Balbirnie a chance to get closer to 50.
Yeah, that's a lovely piece of fielding. They've been outstanding today in all facets. Afghanistan possibly a little bit unlucky with the ball as well. There were lots of edges and plays and misses in that opening 10 overs where Ireland didn't lose a wicket but looked like they could. Being backed up by their fielders. Well done to Shahidi at backward point there.
This one, though, played a little finer by Andy Balbirnie. Just runs it down to 3rd.
This pitch has played well, Dwayne. My pitch report was that it looked a bit greener than certainly it was on Monday, where we saw a prodigious turn. This one hasn't really done that much. There was a bit of seam movement, definitely with the 2 new balls in both innings, but these 2 balls in the second innings now 10 overs old each, so it has flattened out, and I'd suggest the next 10 or 15 overs may be the best time to bat in this innings.
Well, you say that, but there is an eclipse that is due in around an hour. It's set to start in around an hour.
Well, you're the man to know. Has an eclipse ever stopped play?
It's never stopped play, but it actually moved the India-England rest day it was a Jubilee Series test. The rest day was moved so that they didn't have to concern themselves with the potential stoppage owing to bad light.
In 1882.
This was in 1980, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to check that, but I'm fairly certain it was in the 1980s. Oh, that is glorious. That is absolutely superb. That is Harry Tector at his very best, and the 100 comes up in some style.
Beautiful shot from Harry Tector, a really good sign for him. He's unleashed a few pull shots, a lovely clip off the legs for 4, and now a straight drive, the most beautiful shot you can play. You cannot play that shot unless you are a high-class player, and having fed a bowling machine to Harry Tector many times, and having seen it whistle past my feet several times, I know he can play that one. He's a classy player, and again, good signs for him. Hope I'm not putting the commentators' mockers on him, which I nearly did the last time he inside edged the next ball.
And this one, he's deliberately played out towards 3rd. That face opened.
Have we got the year of the eclipse yet?
I need to check, but 21 overs gone, 103 for 2. I'm fairly certain it was the Jubilee test in 1980. India against England, and I know it was a rest day that was moved as a result of the potential eclipse. I know there have been football matches that have been delayed, and certain matches even today around the world in various sports. Floodlights are required throughout the day, so there is consistent lighting, including just not too far away. Matches going on in the 100. Floodlights required today, even during full sunlight. So Rashid Khan to continue. Again, nicely played. Big call, a no from Harry Tector once he got down the opposite end. So Balbirnie potentially one stroke away from 50. He's batted patiently, but he's got the ability to cash in by scoring quicker runs as his innings progresses. Importantly, Ireland still have 8 wickets in hand.
Rashid Khan's been a little bit full since he's come on. He's just got to drag that length back a bit.
First one-day international between these sides rained out. Second one-day international, Rashid Khan bowled almost exclusively leg breaks. Third one-day international, bowled a lot of googlies in between. How do you expect him to bowl throughout his 10 here, given that he showed virtually his full repertoire in the first 2 matches completed?
Really well played from Harry Tector there, getting right out. It sounds facile, but he's using his bat to play the ball, not getting his pad in front of it and playing for that straight honour and playing it really well. Andy Balbirnie actually can read Rashid Khan quite well and can actually pick him.
Yeah, but Balbirnie's got a really good record against spin, actually. He plays spin really nicely, and he's got that incredible hard sweep that he goes down onto often. Combat spinners, particularly when they're bowling it a little fuller.
Yeah, he is a good player of spin, and he can read it. That's really well played from Harry Tector. Again, that was the googly and getting his bat out in front and just hitting the inside half. I was chatting to some of the... Sorry, it is 106 for 2 off 22. Just chatting to some of the guys before it, and Gary Wilson before the game as well. The only thing that you can say about facing Rashid Khan, which makes it a bit easier facing, is because he bowls with such pace. If you do get bat on ball, get the bat out in front and play for that googly a lot of the time, the ball tends to go into gaps because he's put so much pace on it. Sometimes with slower spinners, you've got to do all the hitting into the gap, and when you don't and you just block it, it goes to the fielders. Whereas him, I always found if you can get into a good position against him and get the bat in the ball, whatever part of the bat it hits, it tends to go square where he hasn't got a fielder. So he finds it difficult to stop people scoring against him, albeit he then can take wickets pretty easily as well.
Well, this is interesting. For the first time in his international career, one-day international career, Siddiqullah Atal has got ball in hand. Well, this comes around once every birthday, does it? Turns 25 today. He cashed in with 143 in the Afghanistan innings. And maybe, just maybe, Rahmat Shah has decided if he can have an element of fortune with the ball in hand, as he did with bat in hand, he could strike to help Afghanistan's cause here.
That was a bit of a drag down. I think that was a happy birthday present to Harry Tector, and he hasn't really taken full advantage of it. I think this is an opportunity for Ireland now. I think they really have to go, okay, if he's going to bowl 2 or 3 overs, they need to score some boundaries against Atal here.
Now, while he doesn't bowl internationally, his captain would have seen him every day in the nets, practicing. He would know what he's capable of doing with ball in hand. But this is still a very interesting choice to have the star batter, Siddiqullah Atal. Come in and bowl his first international deliveries. He's bowled in List A cricket. In fact, I think he even has a wicket in List A cricket.
This is an attempt from by Afghanistan to make it easier towards the end and give them more options with their seamers and spinners, and you know, the sixth bowler option is clever at this point. They're relying on Ireland just knocking it around and just going at 5 and 6 and over, whereas actually this is the time to go.
This is also where you might be thinking there are other options. Hashmatullah Shahidi is bowled relatively well. He's taken international wickets. He might have been an option to consider. Rahmat Shah himself is a very good bowler. He's got a fifer in ODIs.
He is a good bowler. He bowled a lot more earlier on when he wasn't skipper, and very effectively, has a decent googly, bowls a lot slower than Rashid Khan. Not suggesting he's anywhere near that standard, but he is a handy operator.
Ibrahim Zadran comes in off the rope. That ends Siddiqullah Atal's first over. 5 singles from it, 23 down. Nelson up, 111 for 2.
Get those feet off the ground for Nelson, David Shepherd style. But yeah, Ireland.
Watch England versus Pakistan Test Series live on Crick Buzz.
A bit more risk here and try and get 15 or 20 and just nullify that and just get the other bowlers back on to make it not so easy for Rahmat Shah, the Afghanistan skipper, to you know, rotate his bowlers later in the innings when he might need them to do so.
So Rashid Khan bowled a couple of overs, only 2. Ziad Sharifi will continue rolling from the city end. Charging down the wicket, Harry Tector thought about the run but decided against it, up against a man nicknamed Morkel. Very tall physical stature, has a high release point like Morne Morkel, generates some sharp bounce as well and has decent pace behind it, and incidentally has sought out Morne Morkel and done a few training sessions with the great South African bowler. So nicknamed after Morne, the bowler, not Albie, the all-rounder who could hit sixes for fun. I'm not going to say again, but Afghanistan are hitting the wickets with a rare frequency.
They are. It's just they're doing it when Ireland are actually in their crease, but it does show that they've clearly done a lot of work on their fielding. Interestingly, Harry Tector looking for a boundary in the first couple of balls of this Ziad Sharifi over, which is the right tactic. He's bowled nicely, Ziad Sharifi. He's gone 7 and over, but he's looked like he's got something about him, albeit this pitch doesn't have a huge amount in it. Ireland seeing off Rashid Khan for the first time. That's more, you know, often when Rashid Khan only doesn't get a wicket.
Seeing off over 12 balls is interesting, but yes.
I'm taking the win. I'm taking the win, Dwayne. You know, it's interesting how they use Rashid Khan.
Yeah.
They if he doesn't get a wicket in 2 or 3 overs, often they'll pull him off and bring him back on, and you know, it's a very clever way of using him, and even back sort of, you know, stacking his overs towards the end. And Ireland have to be aware that he's still got 8 overs left after in the last 27, which is an enormous amount. So they've really got to be aggressive against the guys who aren't him.
I fully take your point and appreciate that both Balboni and Tector played him rather well. If they were troubled by a spinner, it was more against Kazanfar.
Yeah, I mean, that could be the surface. It could be just the 12 balls that Rashid Khan bowled, and didn't get it quite right. I'm sure he will at some point in this spell.
Well, if Ireland bat through 50, Rashid Khan is almost certainly going to bowl 10. There's 8 overs remaining. We're approaching the halfway mark of the innings. We're quite literally 8 balls away from the halfway mark, and Ireland are not even a third of the way to the total that they need to win. Still 233 required.
Yeah, it's an enormous total on the board from Afghanistan at this ground. It is a good 50-over pitch. I enjoy playing here. It's a lovely ground, great outfield, nice and fast. Not a huge ground either, but 250 to 280 is the usual score here. Afghanistan way past that. Lovely shot again from Harry Texture. Just half stop of the bowler Zia Sharifi. There's a jog through for 1 with 1 ball left in the 24th. Yeah, this is an enormous total for this ground. And it was always going to be a tall ask to get it, and I think Ireland have done the right thing in thinking, you know, it could easily have been something they go, okay, we've got to get 7 and over from the start, and that's just really difficult to do at this ground. And they've taken the route of saying, okay, 2 people have got to get in and make decisions from there to try and keep us in the game. I still think it's a ground where you can get 100 off the last 10, but you know they're going to have to get to that point.
Kept a little low. So, dot ball, only 1 from Sharifi's 5th over. End of 24, Ireland 112 for 2.
Yeah, that was a good over from Zia Sharifi there. He's only gone for 1. Harry Texture was looking to be very aggressive, but he held his length really well. That just slightly back of the length, and didn't give Harry Texture the chance when he ran down to hit over the top. So well done to him. He's new into the team today, Zia Sharifi. He's done a reasonable job through these middle overs so far. And we're now seeing the reason why Atal came on at this end. He's just holding fort until the maestro comes on again.
Well, yes, he's bowled his first balls in international cricket. That'll please many batters to get a few deliveries. Khan back into the attack. Harry Texture facing. Generally very good against spin. Was undone by Rashid Khan in the 3rd one-day international of this SIG Energy series between Ireland and Afghanistan.